She's loud. Very loud. Talks a lot. Talks very fast.
When I first met Dee, he was late. So that hasn't changed. But he was calm and collected. And I am not calm and I'm not cool and collected. So that was like, that was my attraction to him.
So what was the incident? Why was he late? What was he meeting you for?
Well, he told me there was traffic, but do you want to tell the truth why he was late?
There was traffic.
He went to get a bagel. So I booked him for a booking to do removals, and he was late because he went to get a bagel.
So Monique being loud and talking fast, what was that appealing?
It was interesting. It's the opposite to how I am. The conversation on the journey coming back to finish the delivery was very interesting. For a person that could be loud, yeah, they were clear at times, but even though they were clear at times, they just spoke. But what it is she listened to what I was saying, so that's what I liked. Even though in the midst of all the blur, she was listening to what I was saying.
And the conversation just flowed, didn't it? It wasn't like we were just talking for the sake of it. I think we definitely were on different paths at that point. I literally just wanted to get to the destination.
I just wanted to eat my bagel in peace and collect my money. I ain't even gonna lie.
He's always got like the solution. Okay, most times he's got a solution for a problem or an issue that I'm trying to face. Whether I agree with it, that's obviously that's different. But most times, if I have a problem or something I need to solve, he's always willing to say, okay, I think you should do this, or why don't you do this, or why haven't you done this? And he's a very good provider. He just naturally wants to always provide. Sometimes it's a bit annoying, but
she's caring, very caring. So she pays attention to certain situations and tries to get the best out of certain things. So that's what I like about it. I'm very reserved and private, but sometimes she takes her time to get a different narrative out of the situation that I'm cool with. And then obviously as a result of that, I get to experience something different, which is good.
Do you feel comfortable to express another version of yourself?
It depends. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable. It's not something I'm used to. But it's also good because, like I said, I get to experience something different and it gives me a different outlook. So that's good.
Perspective.
We've had a few. I think the first time we went out, that's memorable.
Where did you go?
a pub.
Yeah, pub.
In Crystal Palace.
I turned to Monique and said, no, before we went to the pub, the thing was that was interesting and that I'm always reminded of constantly.
Your iconic line.
Huh?
Your iconic line.
Do you want to share?
No. I'll let you say it out loud.
I prefer you say it because you remember it and remind me about it all the time.
So this is why he's lying, saying that he just wanted to get his money and eat his bagel.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he got to the house that I was moving into, he's like, do you want to go for a drink with two black people? That was the line.
As two black people.
That was the line. So I was like, oh, you're looking for something else, not just your check. So that's why I'm like, when he's talking about just going and waffling.
I like that. So when you're saying as two black people.
That was confusing though.
Yeah, like what did you mean?
It's two normal black people that don't know each other. But what it was is that because she was open to how silly it sounded, so that's what made it memorable, and I've been reminded about that throughout this journey so far, every so often. But literally, it was just as two black people.
I think the first time he changed Wolf Snappy, it took you 15 minutes because we timed you in the front room, and I was like, oh, he's really trying to get to grips with this, and that was nice to watch because he hadn't really bonded with Wolf yet. So
How old was Wolf at this stage?
literally maybe not even a week.
Okay.
So he was, that was probably the first time he was alone with Wolf in the house, and we weren't like supervising you, and you was struggling, but it was nice to watch that little intimate moment. In the sense that I have now can prioritize and put energy into things that matter. So through this love, I've been able to prioritize my family and my future, and any kind of toxic things that were in the way or harbouring my progression. Yeah, the love's definitely matured me. It's made me want to keep sharing more love, whether it's with other people as well, not just in this relationship. Maybe have more loving relationships with my friends, have more loving relationships with, you know, people even I work with, or people that may before I'll be like, but yeah, I just be more loving, and then that feeling, and when it feels good, I want to keep that feeling. So that's what I'm trying to do.
It's made me understand people a bit more, and just understand where people come from, and that their background story. Just allow there be a time to and a process to formulate an opinion about something or someone. So,
as in, like, what? Be less judgmental.
Not less judgmental, but just more understanding of where, of how situations occur, and it's also allowed me to understand the difference between loving someone and like lusting over someone. So the lust is more instant, and it's not really long lasting. And obviously when you love someone, like in this relationship, it's like you take more time, because obviously it's a longer process. So because you're here for a longer time, it's like you have to become more understanding and more open to the fact that how you perceive something might not necessarily be that way in the beginning, but just understanding a lot more of how someone is, because obviously they'll show you certain things and certain positives, and then there may be certain negatives, but you have to understand how the negatives are here and how the positives are here, and just understanding that the strength in the positives, and sometimes a negative isn't a negative.
When do you think lust became love for you during this relationship?
Maybe it took time. That was definitely a long process, I'm not gonna lie. It was a good process, but it took I can't put a specific moment, but it was a bit of time. The love comes with consistency, so
Favorite word.
There were certain things that were very consistent, so that's what allowed me to be a bit more easy and a bit more open. But like I said, it was challenging, but it was worth it. I can say it was worth it.
Ooh. Unity. Kind of fighting the fight together. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stigmas against it not being seen or it not existing and blah 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 blah. But that's not true. It's just not televised or publicised, but it is there, and I think to me it definitely, it means unity, strength, and yeah, I think those are my two.
Hope. Obviously, if there's black love, then moving forward there should be black people that continue. So
Coexist and build stuff together.
And progression. Because obviously if your family structure is solid, then it would be progressive. So things will happen, there'll be improvement. So black love is important. So
It's mandatory, yeah.
That our relationship was an environment where there was love and progression and security and comfortability. So, but yeah, it was just a nice, relaxed relationship that was progressive.
Progressing to where?
Just moving forward, always moving forward.
Always.
A lot of laughter though.
That's important.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I would say I would like us to be remembered as
Two black people going for a drink and you know how it goes.
God. Apart from being Wolf's parents, and God knows who else's parents, it will be, for me to be remembered with Dee as a couple who always did stuff to help the community, because I want us to eventually do that. Remember I spoke about that, like building a future that other people can live off. So when we eventually get ourselves settled, we'll be able to then now set that up, because those things there's not a lot of those things for us. But yeah, whether it be property or just somewhere to go and talk and meet people that look like you, those are the kind of things that I want us to be remembered for, and have little businesses or establishments or places, little safe havens that we make that people can use for that education, all that stuff. Yeah.
I love that.
Hmm.
Amazing.